Donc, yes, Damien. So Damien will start. No, sorry. So we'll start with the presentation and then we'll.
Merci. Je parle peu français, mais beaucoup d'anglais. So, thank you again for coming out to see us today. Hopefully it was a nice trip over. I'd like to welcome you to our latest project, the Centara Post Lafayette Resort and Spa, to give it its full title. Cost a fortune in signage. So, the purpose this morning is really to talk to you about all of the IOREC projects that we've achieved to date. And I must say, as having worked in property development now for 20 years, I've never worked for a company that's been so successful in a short period of time. The company itself was established in 2009, February 2009, and it's a private partnership between two companies, one from Immersion, GML, which I'm sure you're all very well familiar with, the number one company in Mauritius, and Actis. Actis is a private equity fund from the United Kingdom. They only invest money in emerging markets. They're investing in Africa, in South America, in India, and in China. And in Africa itself, obviously, are busy in Mauritius, but they're also active in places like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Uganda. And not just in real estate, they invest across all sectors: energy, industry, banking. So they currently invest around $5 billion around the world, with about $2 billion invested in Africa. So they're the biggest private equity fund in Africa. And these are our partners, and a very nice bunch of people they are too. So, yeah. The company started from a standing start in 2009 and has grown from an initial team of 4 to we now have 22 staff. The sectors we work in are quite diverse. In terms of existing assets, we currently have offices and industrial buildings that were established in 2009. But since 2009, these are the projects that we've brought to market, completed, and will be completing very shortly. So, David, if you could just click on. So the first project we opened, which I'm sure you're familiar with, was in Rivière de Rompart in 2010. We opened the Riverside Shopping Centre. It's about 6,000 square metres of gross floor area. There's around about 35 tenants. It's anchored by a Winners supermarket. And as a shopping project, it's very focused on the Rivière de Rompart district and certain people in Rivière de Rompart. Its main anchors are obviously Winners, people like Emtel, Mauritius Telecom, and CPB, KFC, etc. And it's done very well for us, that project. Almost 200 jobs created in the Rivière de Rompart. The first project that we will talk about that completed this year is a residential project in Piton called Les Auchamps. It's part of the Beau Séjour estate, and sits on just off the crossroads of Piton. It's a very nice piece of land, good views down to the ocean, a lot of mature trees, a lot of tranquility where it's located. And the products themselves, there's 20 detached or semi-detached houses that are available to buyers who have Mauritian nationality only. The product was priced from about, the entry price on those houses were about 8.5 million rupees up to 13 million rupees. And we started construction in the middle of last year and completed construction this year. We're currently at, of the houses we have, of the 20 we've built, there's still 3 available. So it's sold quite well through the process. And one of the things we do, in dealing with a lot of clients and customers, we've become aware of the fact that there has been a slight, especially in residential, history of sites not happening. So it's very key to us that if we say something, we do something, and Les Auchamps is a good example of that. We started building the houses before we sold a single house. We had a good feeling about the project. We've done our market research. We thought we'd created the right product. So we're very much about doing what we say we do and delivering projects to people rather than delivering or shattering their dreams. And I think there has been a legacy in a number of projects that didn't go ahead, which is bad for Mauritius and bad for property development. So we're trying to keep that up. Second project that opened this year, this opened on the 29th of September, is the Circle Square Retail Park. It sits on, in Forbach on the roundabout on the motorway. I'm sure you've probably been past it. And it's a retail project, but it's not a shopping centre. Certainly in Europe, in places like Australia, in America, South Africa, there's been a property type called a retail park for a good number of years. And retail parks are destination retail. And that differs from, let's say, a Bagatelle or a La Cosette, in that people don't come here to Circle Square to buy on impulse. These are people who have a project or an ambition they want to satisfy. They want to buy a new car, they want to buy a new couch, they want to buy a new kitchen. So the average spend is a lot higher, but the average number of customers is lower. But the product itself is very focused on destination retail. So Circle Square Phase 1 includes for the Motor City, which is focused on anything with a motor. So motorboats, motorbikes, motor cars, both on selling these things, but also on providing servicing and maintenance and upgrades even on the cars, bikes and boats. And it's, I must say, the kind of tenants we have in there, which is M-Car, Mac, Espace Moran, have all found that the centre is trading beyond their ambitions and what they anticipated they'd be doing in terms of car sales. It's the first time that there's been a cluster in the north where you can visit and in one place find so many different brands. And certainly in respect to motor cars, there's 11 brands represented on site. So it's a good place to come to if you want a new car. The other building we opened was Home Scene, and Home Scene is a building, 4,000 square metres, focused just on home decoration and home furnishings. So it's everything from bathroom fittings, WCs, bath showers, with the Roy Bosch. There's Roche-Bobois, which is a very upmarket French furniture store. There's remember the name of the linen store? United
Textiles
Associated Textiles, excuse me. There's Samsung. There's also electronics, fabrics, furniture, kitchens, bathrooms are all represented in Home Scene. And again, as with the Motor City, it's seeing good traffic and good commitment to spend. The other bit that's currently in that we're very pleased with is the leisure zone. We opened the first public golf driving range in the north of the island, and that's done very well. People can go along there and practice their golf. There's a restaurant, there's a fully licensed bar, and it's open from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, and all day there's golf and there's a restaurant there which should be support to us. So we're continuing to work with Circle Square, so it's one of our prime assets, and we're very pleased with it's turned out. Ask questions at any time if you like, I'll bash you off. I'll just hand over to Hugues, then we're going to talk about this property.
Thanks, all right. I'll switch in French. Santara, donc, le premier projet hôtelier de IOREC, qui est un hôtel qui fait 100 chambres. On va le catégoriser en 4 étoiles. Donc c'est un projet qui est sur un terrain qui fait 2,5 arpents, à Place Lafayette. Donc l'hôtel en lui-même comprend donc un spa de 6 chambres, un kids area, une gymnastique, 3 restaurants, dont un restaurant à la carte et une piscine avec un gadget assez rare, une piscine chauffée pour l'hiver. Pour ceux qui m'ont dit Place Lafayette est venteux, mais on sera toujours au chaud dans la piscine. Donc comme je disais, c'est le premier projet d'IOREC dans l'hôtellerie. Et on a choisi un partenaire de choix qui est Santara International Management, qui est un groupe asiatique basé à Bangkok et qui gère dans le monde à peu près 10 000 chambres d'hôtel, principalement en Asie, aux Maldives aussi, notamment à Bali. Et donc c'est un groupe hôtelier qui a l'expertise de gérer les hôtels pour le compte de ses propriétaires, du 4 étoiles, du 5 étoiles. Le prochain projet avec Santara, on en parlera juste après, est à Zurich. L'idée c'est d'avoir une synergie au niveau du management, donc pour gérer 2 hôtels assez proches l'un de l'autre. Donc l'hôtel a démarré la construction il y a exactement 1 an, enfin un petit peu plus d'1 an, donc c'était un challenge assez important d'ouvrir l'hôtel dans la bonne saison. Comme vous savez tous, la saison touristique a commencé déjà et il n'était pas envisageable pour nous d'ouvrir un hôtel après la bonne saison. Donc on a eu vraiment 1 an, jour pour jour, pour mettre à jour, enfin pour construire cet hôtel et le mettre en fonctionnement. Construire, c'est bien, le faire tourner, que tout marche, que ça fonctionne, que la cuisine marche, que tous les services marchent est un vrai challenge. Donc, et on est très satisfait puisqu'on a ramené la date d'ouverture officielle à lundi prochain au lieu d'être le 15 décembre qui était annoncé officiellement. On commence à créer à partir du 10 décembre. Donc voilà, tout l'aspect, si vous voulez, marketing, vente de l'hôtel va être fait par Santara. Donc c'est la raison pour laquelle on a contacté avec eux pour gérer ça. Et on compte beaucoup sur un nouveau marché qui est le marché, on va dire, asiatique. Si vous voulez savoir un peu dans la philosophie du gouvernement d'ouvrir le marché touristique vers l'Est. Comme vous savez tous, on est très pro-Europe aujourd'hui. Mais je pense qu'avec un Mauritius qui commence les vols sur Shanghai en vol direct à partir de janvier, on est dans cette stratégie justement d'attirer un peu une nouvelle clientèle. Du reste, Santara, bon, vous pouvez voir l'hôtel, on va faire une visite juste après, n'a pas du tout une touche thaïlandaise dans la déco. Le propriétaire a vraiment les manies pour faire, par exemple, nous, pour décorer l'hôtel comme on veut. Par contre, la cuisine que Santara a servi, que ce soit le buffet ou les restaurants à cadre, ont effectivement une tendance beaucoup plus, je veux dire, asiatique, donc très épicée, beaucoup de saveurs. Donc voilà, c'est comparativement à d'autres hôtels sur l'île. C'est la façon de se différencier. Une autre chose aussi, le spa, puisqu'aujourd'hui tout projet hôtelier vient avec un spa, même les projets RES. Santara a sa propre marque de spa qui s'appelle Saint Larry. Et donc pour faire tourner ce spa, on a fait venir justement des Thaïlandaises qui sont là pour former les Mauriciens. L'idée c'est de ne pas remplacer les Mauriciens parce qu'il y a beaucoup de compétences ici, mais surtout de les former à... C'est une culture chez les Thaïs et les massages, comme vous pouvez imaginer. Rapidement sur l'emploi, cet hôtel emploie aujourd'hui 120 personnes. Principalement, je suis assez fier de dire principalement de la région, de Rivière du Rempart, Roche-Noire. Et ça a été, je crois que le management qui est, enfin vous avez rencontré John en bas qui est australien, a été assez bluffé de trouver très facilement des compétences, que ce soit au niveau de la cuisine, au niveau du service, et on sait les Mauriciens ont cette capacité à offrir du bon service, et je crois qu'ils sont très très satisfaits. Ce qui a permis aussi d'ouvrir l'hôtel beaucoup plus vite que prévu parce que le personnel était déjà jeune et prêt à aller en opération. Et pour finir, les chambres font à peu près 30 mètres carrés de average, room size, de 30 mètres carrés, et avec 2 catégories, la chambre, je veux dire, double, enfin simple pour le couple, et la chambre avec un day-bed qui est pour un couple. Avec des chambres avec des commuting doors. On visitera quelques chambres en descendant juste après. Et puis là, vous avez vu le lagon magnifique qu'on a devant nous, naturel, sans pollution, un très belle plage, qui peut être aussi à des hôtels de 5 étoiles. Donc voilà. Je passe la parole à Daniel, qui va vous parler d'Azurich. Oui.
Quels sont les pays que vous devez toucher
la clientèle. Santara, le bureau marketing est basé à Bangkok. Il faut savoir que Santara, je vous dis que j'ai à peu près 10 000 chambres d'hôtel dans le monde. Donc Maurice rentrera dans ce pool, si vous voulez, de missions. La clientèle est à 40% européenne déjà. Le reste étant plus des pays asiatiques. Quand je dis asiatiques, je ne parle pas uniquement Chine, c'est l'Inde, l'Australie. Et donc on va suivre le trend que Maurice a de recevoir des étrangers, mais je pense qu'on va se démarquer avec une clientèle un peu nouvelle, notamment de Russie par exemple, de Chine, d'Inde, un gros potentiel. Et on compte beaucoup sur les compagnies aériennes, sur les nouveaux aéroports aussi, pour pouvoir attirer des nouvelles compagnies aériennes. Et on est même, pour vous dire, en proche, je ne vais pas dire discussion, mais en constante relation avec les ministres du tourisme, qui forcément accueillent Santara au bras ouverts à Maurice.
If I could interject, although the brand isn't very well known in Mauritius, it's the biggest hotel operator in Asia. They have 60 hotels on this database of 1 million clients. They sell every day 10,000 bedrooms. So it's a big catchment for us to have Santara here. They also, within their group, own more shopping centres than anyone else in Asia. And they also own the rights to license Manchester United in Asia. So Santara is a big group.
Est-ce que dans la formation des employés, vous avez pris des spécificités de la clientèle asiatique? Aussi, généralement, dans les hôtels, le dîner commence à 8 h, tandis que chez les Chinois, ça commence un peu vers les 5 h. Il faut les garder animés jusqu'à 11 h du soir. Est-ce que ça aussi, c'est prévu par Santara?
Le GM, vous avez eu, John, est un Australien, qui lui-même travaille chez Santara déjà depuis plusieurs années, qui était en charge d'un 5 étoiles aux Maldives. Et les Maldives, comme vous savez, sont très réputées pour la clientèle asiatique. Donc pour répondre à ça, oui, la cuisine, définitivement. Les heures de repas, on mange très tôt, on va aller très tard. Pas de karaoké ici, parce que c'est pas un hôtel, je veux dire, quoique, on ne réfléchit pas, c'est ce genre de choses qui pensent éventuellement à offrir. Le spa, c'est très important, les visites, enfin, les tours organisés, c'est des choses qu'ils ont déjà pris en considération parce que beaucoup d'Asiatiques viennent à Maurice et aiment bien aller visiter. Ce ne sont pas des gens qui restent beaucoup sur la plage comme nos Européens.
Ils ne sont pas friands de la plage. Donc, quelles sont les activités à l'intérieur de l'hôtel que vous allez offrir, étant donné que les Chinois ne sont pas trop Saint-Nancy?
Oui, bien sûr. Cet hôtel-ci, on n'a pas voulu offrir, enfin on n'a pas voulu. On a préféré prendre le parti de ne pas avoir un beau-tasse, par exemple. Parce que d'abord, on est un peu limité par le lagon. Et puis, voilà, on n'a pas fait ces démarches-là. L'idée d'avoir mis beaucoup d'emphase sur le spa, était pour un 4 étoiles, on a un spa, je dirais, de 5 étoiles, qu'on pourra visiter si vous voulez par la suite. Les menus, on a 3 restaurants, en 4 étoiles, on n'a pas besoin d'avoir un fine dining, généralement, vous avez un buffet, un restaurant de plage, là on a vraiment 3 restaurants qui sont ouverts la journée, et donc c'est un choix dans les menus, dans les repas. Et puis effectivement il y a un certain nombre d'activités, profiter de ce coin de l'île qui est assez typique chez l'île Maurice. Voilà. Après le management va entertainer sa clientèle en faisant des événements ad hoc au fur et à mesure. Mais principalement l'important c'est la nourriture. Ça c'est un point très fort.
The service as well is based around the Asian model, the Thai model. And Santara bring this expertise to Mauritius. So for example, yesterday, all this week they have their human resource trainers from Thailand here, teaching people how to provide hospitality and to look after guests' interests in the kind of Asian manner. So there's a big focus on service, even though it's a 4-star hotel.
L'hôtel a coûté 450 millions de roupies au total, pour 100 chambres.
Et vous avez prévu, dans votre projection, votre taux d'occupation d'ici un an, disons, pour décembre l'année prochaine, 2013, vous pensez
que... Tout va ça sur l'année. Hein. On a la voyage, forcément, un hôtel qui démarre avec des taux d'occupation plus faibles que ceux d'autres. Nous, on compte beaucoup sur ce nouveau marché et nos prévisions nous donnent entre 60 et 65% d'occupation de la voyage. Pour vous donner un exemple, le 22, 23, 24 décembre, on est à 100% déjà d'occupation, y compris le marché local. Comprenant le marché local déjà, pardon, et on redescend autour de 70% pour remonter à 100% le 28 ou 29 décembre. Donc c'était unexpected de la part du management et on est très content de voir que le marché local aussi et les tours opérateurs sont emballés du concept de cet hôtel de Post-Lafayette qui est assez qui sort de l'ordinaire. Hein, enfin, par la conception, le style post-Lafayette qui est assez... Il n'y a pas d'hôtel à post-Lafayette. Le prochain hôtel, c'est le Prince Maurice qui est de l'autre côté, c'est un palace, donc c'est pas du tout la même chose. La façon dont a été le design, il y a un coin un peu plus lounge, la deck, donc tout ça. Et on a fait ce qu'on appelle un hard party, où on invite les tours opérateurs locaux et étrangers à venir découvrir l'hôtel, à vivre l'hôtel, et on les a invités même pendant cette période entre le 15 novembre et là, pour venir vivre l'hôtel et justement vivre pour le vendre. Donc le retour est excellent.
One last point to note as well is I think it's the first project I've known of in Mauritius that's hotel that's going to open a week early. So it's been in training for almost 3 weeks now. We're supposed to open it on the 15th of December, and it's in such an advanced state that we're actually going to open on the 10th. So I'm very pleased that it's come together.
Is it a mock of fabric 1 year? All the project has started 1 year and 367 days afterwards it's born. It's really easy. The trademark for IOREC.
Maybe. I think it's a coincidence. We don't get a lot of peace from our shareholders, so they like to see things moving. And I think it's good for the staff as well that it's a company that sees things happening. If we're sat here looking at a project for 3 years, it gets very depressing. So we like to see things happening. And certainly the way I was brought up in property development was there's only 2 ways that things are. They're either done or not done. Being done doesn't matter. So it's a case of that we like to get things done well. Yeah.
Vous voulez poser une question
au niveau du CSA.
Ça fait comment vous interprétez CSA au niveau de l'hôtellerie, parce que nous on a beaucoup prôné, vu qu'on est très présent dans la région, et on reviendra sur le CSA sur Azurie, parce que là il y a la composante IRS, et donc il y a un projet complètement ensemble, mais nos bureaux de Santara, enfin le management était basé à Riverside pendant les 2 derniers mois avant de venir ici. Et vu qu'on est quand même très présent, donc le village Fancy nous connaît bien, on a beaucoup de relations, on fait beaucoup de CSA, des activités, peu importe. Et donc on a justement, on n'a pas fait un job fair as such, mais on a fait passer des annonces pour recruter du monde ici, et principalement on privilégiait donc les gens en qualité roche-noire de la région, parce qu'il y a une demande d'emploi, il y a une demande, les gens ont besoin de travailler, et nous on a besoin d'employer du monde pour travailler. Et donc ça peut être considéré comme du CSR, voilà, plus ou moins maintenant. Et je vous disais, le retour a été très positif, à tel point que le management est prêt à ouvrir l'hôtel une semaine avant, parce que lui il a la responsabilité après que la clientèle soit satisfaite. Vous connaissez tous TripAdvisor, c'est un outil aujourd'hui que tout le monde utilise. Vous partez en vacances demain au Maroc ou à Marrakech, vous allez sur TripAdvisor, vous regardez vite fait, tac tac tac. Nous on a déjà des commentaires sur TripAdvisor sur un hôtel qui n'est même pas encore ouvert, donc des commentaires positifs heureusement, et puis des choses qu'il fallait réajuster. Donc pourquoi je vous dis ça, c'est parce que c'est par rapport au personnel et à la formation, c'est très important que le management se sente à l'aise avec les gens qui vont employer, et je dois dire que le Mauricien pour ça répond très bien à la demande. On fait des étrangers qui travaillent dans l'hôtel ici, donc il y a le GM, le chef cuisinier et le spa, les deux personnes du spa, qui sont les key elements pour Santara. Tout le reste sont des Mauriciens, et l'idée c'est de les former justement et de faire venir par le moment des consultants de Santara, comme pour le HR, des choses comme ça. Mais tous les restes sont que des Mauriciens, donc on a que 3 étrangers, pas 4.
Yeah, and 70% of all the staff are from the district. So, as an area that's not had a lot of employment in the past, I think that's really important.
Voilà. Oui.
Est-ce que le un projet de dessin en
Alors, je suis content de poser la question. Je me suis battu personnellement à l'époque, d'ailleurs, pour ne pas avoir à installer derrière une station de dessalement des eaux, de l'eau salée, parce que c'est néfaste pour l'environnement. Je sais que le ministre de l'Environnement lui-même a dit mais c'est la solution pour l'île Maurice, il n'y a pas d'eau en ce moment, vu d'ailleurs. Il ne réalise pas les impacts négatifs sur le corail ou quoi. On n'a qu'à voir à Dubaï aujourd'hui, c'est ça. Et donc on a pu, en prouvant que c'était d'abord financièrement très cher, que c'était pas écologique et que c'était pas la solution, qu'il fallait ne pas trouver une solution en faisant du dégât par ailleurs. Je pense qu'il faut plus s'investir dans ce qu'on a aujourd'hui. Donc on n'a pas de système de dessalination des eaux. Par contre, on a un système de traitement des eaux usées qui est utilisé pour le jardin, ça va, et aussi pour des flushs des toilettes, qui est assez novateur. Rien que j'ai pensé que les eaux usées là, si vous flush vos toilettes, c'est l'eau usée. Donc on réduit comme ça notre impact maintenant dans l'eau. On sensibilise les clients forcément, et encore plus en ce moment, mais on est approvisionné par la CWA normalement. Voilà, et pour l'instant ça va, tout voir, même si on espère avoir adapté un peu.
Est-ce que c'est un hôtel éco-friendly? Comment dire, on est donné des hôtels verts.
Voilà, si vous voyez pas, mais vous voyez des chauffe-eau solaires sur le toit, vous allez voir ça nous prouve. C'est pas très esthétique, mais on a quand même choisi un modèle qui soit le plus esthétique possible, mais on a fait des green gardens, des green roofs, pour venir justement camoufler ça. Pas d'électricité, c'est des chauffe-eau solaires pour l'eau, recyclement des eaux usées, des ampoules LED, des climatisations, ce qu'on appelle des inverters, avec le démarrage du compresseur consomme moins d'électricité, donc ça nous aussi faire des quantités moins chères, mais ça a aussi un impact sur l'énergie chez tout le monde, principalement.
I think 60% of the water here is either recycled or captured from rain, so it's very low.
Et c'est une mesure qu'on applique chez IOREC, peu importe les projets, les Auchan, Circle Square et Argélie, bien sûr. Ok, Damon, up to you.
Sure. Okay. I don't know if some of you will have seen, but we had an advert in the paper the day before yesterday, which basically said, yesterday a concept, today a reality. You know, one of the highlights for me in talking to you guys about Azuri today is the fact that it's under construction. After the last time we saw you guys, it was still, you know, pretty much in IRS certification phase. It was in JIPA phase. We were making applications for certain licenses and doing some land excisions. And we're very happy today to tell you that Azuri is fully IRS certified. So we have our IRS certificate in place. We have all of the JIPAs being issued by MCB. And as you can see, the only thing that we used to be able to show you was a CGI of the construction site in 3D and how it's going to look. Whereas today what we can show you is actually a 45-acre project under construction. As some of you may be aware or may recall, Azuri is going to have just under 300 residences in place. Okay, so that makes Azuri now the biggest project under construction in Mauritius. And we're going to have a total of 4 different contractors that will be building out the project. And you raised the question about IOREC's mandate in building projects in a year. Azuri will be finished this time next year. So not only will it be the biggest project, putting pressure on our CEO there, but not only will it be the biggest project under Mauritius, but it will also be one of the fastest projects to have been built in Mauritius with that many units. The other interesting fact is that we started selling Azuri with a whisper campaign in June of 2011, but officially launched it September 2011. And in that time, Azuri has sold around about 185 units, closer to 190 now. So, you know, that also makes Azuri the fastest selling development, residential development for both local and IRS in Mauritius.
Or Mauritian history.
In all Mauritian history as well. If you look at the IRS trends, you can get those statistics from the Registrar General. You can have a look at the numbers, and you'll also see that if you put all of the IRSs together over the last 2 years and how many sales they've made, we've actually sold more than those guys all put together. So we're very, very proud of that fact. The other thing that we're very proud of is that the project is under construction. It's going ahead. there's been, as I'm sure most of you are aware as journalists in Mauritius, there's a lot of talk about previous IRS projects. They never got off the ground, and a lot of that comes to the administrative elements of starting an IRS project. It's incredibly difficult in Mauritius to commence an IRS project. So we're very proud that Azuri has got all of the correct certification, has started construction, and is moving ahead. As you guys know, we'll also have another Santara hotel, but this time it's going to be the 5-star Santara Grand Resort, which will be at Azuri. That will also be 100 keys, and the main difference being is that it will be a 5-star category rather than a 4-star category. Azuri residents will benefit from the hotel amenities, so they'll be able to access the restaurants at the hotel, they'll be able to access all of the pools and lounge areas at the hotel at the same time. So it's important to have the site anchored by a hotel. Because of the success of the first phase of Azuri, we're very, very happy to say that we'll be releasing the next phase of Azuri in the first quarter of 2013. So we'll actually be launching another 80 around about 120 local units, and we'll also be releasing a further around about 40 units for the IRS as well. And they'll be happening in the first quarter of 2013. We're very, very, one of the main focuses of today, as you will have heard, is that IOREC sets goals for itself with regards to sales, pro formas, with regards to strategies, and with regards to construction and delivery. And so far to date, touche bois, which is a new one I learned from Boo today. We've been able to deliver on our objectives and our goals concurrently, and we'll also be definitely applying that to Azuri as well. So there's a few sound bites that Murray will give you with regards to the construction elements of Azuri. I'm sales and marketing, but Murray gets a lot more on the construction side. But there's some really interesting statistics about Azuri.
I think one of the things we do with our projects is we find the space in the market. There's no point going head to head. There's no point in doing another golf resort. You have to find the space in the market and what people don't have right now. So, for example, Azuri, we're very proud to say, it's a Mauritian village. This is a place where if you're Mauritian, you can buy. If you're foreign, you can buy. And I don't mean you have to be a Mauritian top 1% in terms of earnings. Mauritian housing has been very well received by the buyers, and it's sold out very quickly. So this is a village for Mauritian and to live together. And I think it'll form a very nice community, 12 months a year, activity, culture, lifestyle, which is, as a Scotsman coming to Mauritius, I think it's one of the things that's most attractive here is the kind of general ambiance, the way delivery gets on here, the culture of the country is phenomenal, and a lot of our buyers are working that as well. So the project that Damon was alluding to is quite unique in Mauritius. The biggest construction project right now in the island and one of the biggest ever undertaken. The total site area of the project is 40 acres.
That's 40 acres of the existing phase. Yeah. The overall site area is 450.
Yeah, so we're usually about a tenth of the land right now. It's, I guess, because the timelines to complete, but also the scale. Currently there's 4 contractors. It'll probably end up with 6 contractors. This is very complex to coordinate, but it brings a lot of benefits in terms of the contractors now compete with each other. So we've got for quality and cost and time, it's set itself up well. Some of the numbers, in terms of floor tiling, we're installing enough floor tiling to tile 12 Premiership football pitches. The earthworks were 60,000 tonnes, which is enough to fill the Albert Hall twice. The total development is a 6 billion rupee development, which is one of the biggest right now. And ultimately, at the end, what we'll have is the nicest village in Mauritius that also is not gated. This is not a place where we're going to say, you're you, we're us, everybody stays out of this. There's immersion village where people will come, we hope use the restaurants, the bars, the facilities, and make it very enjoyable. It also, we hope, will become a major tourist destination in the north. It's the only IRS in the north. Everything else seems to have ended up in the southwest corner. I don't know if everything flows downhill, but that's where it all seems to have ended up. And we in the north are pleased to have brought a project of this quality to the northern half of Mauritius. And I must say, the other strange thing coming here as a Scotsman is that it's a country that really is two nations. You either live south of Port Louis or you live north of Port Louis, and maybe you meet once a year because of those damn traffic lights at Place d'Armes. So I think with the way the government are rocketing ahead with their infrastructure, the new roadworks that are coming into Mauritius over the coming, let's say, in the last 2 years and the coming year, will really bring the ability to travel up and down the country much more easily. And I think that will make a big difference to the way people live or choose to live. So we'd anticipate that a lot of people who never thought about living in the north of Mauritius, it becomes viable because the Verdun, the Terre Rouge, bypass, etc. makes life a lot easier. And hopefully the projects in the north too. Good. Okay. Well, look at that. Obviously, any questions you might have, we're delighted.
Why have this project been so fast going in point of selling the houses?
There's a few things, or certainly there's a number of what we think are unique selling points. We worked very hard to research the market, to establish what the market required, and I think that has paid back in dividend now in terms of what we're providing. Number one would be the prices that we've been bringing the properties to market on. IRS-wise, the starting price was $500,000 to $800,000. Now, $800,000, which is our most expensive residence, which is a 4-bedroom penthouse with a private pool, 300 square meters.
And a sea view like this.
Yeah. On if you don't know. The price at $800,000, that's 10% cheaper than the cheapest IRS you can buy in any other project. So our biggest, best project is 10% cheaper than the next cheapest project anywhere else in the island right now. So that's helped a lot. The fact it's freehold on the ocean, I think a lot of people have bought into the idea of being about community first, about living in the same kind of villages as you have Mauritians and being part of the Mauritian community rather than, fundamentally, a number of projects here are world class. I won't mention our competitors, I'm sure you know them all, but you can drive into identical projects in Florida, in Spain, in the Caribbean. They don't say that they're Mauritian, and I think what we wanted to do was to create something that was very Mauritian, and that's what Mauritius could be proud of. So I think that's helped a lot. The ideas and the mix, I think, has been very special. And in terms of the international buyers, we've had them from all over the world. Obviously, the French and South Africans as usual, but we've had people from Hong Kong, from Canada, from Ethiopia, of all places. So it's been very diverse, the actual buyers that have come into the market. And the world has not been an easy place to sell houses for the last 2 years, but we've still managed to prosper. Hopefully it'll continue.
Yeah, and I mean, the other point is the way that the project is managed with the hotel's involvement has been, another key factor in the sales process. As Murray said, it's not an easy climate, economically speaking, around the world at the moment. So to be able to say to a client that, we can allocate a rental pool for your unit and also allocate a 5% rental guarantee for the first 3 years means that client's overheads can be offset against the income that they're driving from it being in the rental pool, which is managed by Centara. And as Hugues and Murray will have said, Centara is incredibly successful at driving traffic to hotels through their database and loyalty base.
The local housing, which of course is now sold out, the starting price for a 3-bedroom apartment was 5 million rupees, and that's in an IRS environment. With an IRS qualified, it's in the same environment as the IRS unit, so it became obviously very, very desirable option.
What is the percentage of Mauritian clients for Algeria?
Well, obviously in the local it's 100%, so there's 106 local buyers in the local properties, and it's 10% of the IRS?
Yeah.
10%, so there's about 10 local buyers, 10% have bought in the IRS.
Votre question c'était dans Algérie
Dans le
en général.
Et
In total.
Bah, on a 106 locales, enfin 106 résidences, donc 106 Mauriciens, parce que ça c'est vendu. Dans la partie IRS, il y a 132 unités sur le marché, avec les 10% sont des Mauriciens qui ont acheté en IRS. Donc ça vous amène à...
It's coming up to around about 50-50
Ouais,
at the
120.
moment, but as the project progresses,
120 sur 236, 240. 120 sur 240.
Très intéressant.
Is there an entire within